Hey, guest services team. Pastor Daniel here, along with Pastor Brad. And Pastor Brad, you recently have gotten back from vacation where you visited a church up there. And I really wanted our guest services team to hear about your experience there because I think it'll be really beneficial.
Yeah, I like visiting churches whenever we go on vacation just to get a feel for what it's like to be a first-time guest. So we got to the service probably about 10 minutes early, and they had two entrances. They had a main entrance, and then they had a entrance that said guest over the top of it. Laura did not want to go in the guest entrance, but I was like, no, I want to go through this entrance. I want to know what their guest services experience is like.
Right. You want the full VIP experience here.
Yes. And so we went in through doors opened by themselves, and we walked in through this guest entrance. It's 10 minutes till service time, and there's nobody there. There was not a single person. Well, there was one person, because right when you walk through the doors, just to the right was their what they call their Connect Center, which I didn't know what that was, but I did as a pastor. I know what it is. And there was one person there, but she was at that moment busy setting up her area, and she kind of glanced up at us, but then went right back to setting up her area. And it couldn't have been more obvious. We came through the guest entrance, had this look like we don't know where. I mean, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where the auditorium was. I didn't know where the kids' area was. I didn't even know where the bathrooms were. So, which is that experience you have as a guest that we all take for granted.
Yeah. And you had another experience when you were after the service. You were trying to turn in a first-time visitor card. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, let me mention though first. One thing I did forget to mention was, so we went by the Connect Center. Then we went to the restrooms, came back from the restrooms, and people were kind of looking at us, but nobody was engaging us. And then when the service did officially start, Laura wasn't quite there, and so I was standing out in the lobby, and the auditorium doors closed with the auditorium greeters going on the inside of the doors. And this is something I've never really thought about before. But the doors were closed, and it was just almost like I was shut out from the service. There was nobody there. So I went and I opened up the door, let my family in. There was nobody inside the doors of the auditorium to say good morning or anything like that. So all these opportunities where you think it's going to happen, it didn't happen. So then one last chance. So we leave the service, and they say, hey, after the service, take your Connect card, go back to the Connect Center. We'd love to meet you, and we'd love to give you a gift. Like, we haven't heard that before, which is just like the same verbiage that we say. Laura didn't want to do it, but I'm like, no, I want to see what this experience is like.
Right.
Plus, they might have a cool coffee mug or something.
Yeah, you're hoping to score some free swag.
I did. I thought, man, if I could get a T-shirt or a mug, that'd be awesome. So I'm headed back towards this same area where this lady had been previously before. There's probably 3 or 4 people standing there on this carpeted area. Here comes Laura and I with the kids, and they're looking at us, and we're getting closer, and they're looking at us, and we're getting closer, and I have my Connect card in my hand, and it's pretty obvious I'm coming to the Connect area, but nobody is like nodding at me or smiling at me. I get all the way up to the carpet, and nobody says anything to me.
Wow.
In fact, there was one guy who kind of looked at me, and I just said, hey, this is our first time. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he started to have a conversation with me, but never really asked me, or told me anything about the church. And then I'm honestly, because they said I could have a gift, I was like, well, I wonder what this gift is that they give away. They never offered me the gift.
Never offered you the gift. Wow.
So it was one of those experiences where, for the very first time that I can remember in years and years, that I said, I would never go back to that church because it just felt so cold.
Yeah.
And I honestly kind of just felt for them because I was like, I know that's not how this church is. I know this is not how these people are, but that was the impression I had from my first time.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of big takeaways that we can get out of that story. One is that our task is never more important than the people. That first person you came up to was busy working on their task, and they missed an opportunity to connect with you. And for us as a guest services team, we never want to be so busy focused on, I've got to get this thing done, or people are our task on Sunday morning. And I think that's one of the big things. Another thing is that we always need to be proactive, engaging people. I mean, the fact that you had to come up and say, hey, I'm new here. Can I get my free gift? Or, when clearly you're there for that purpose.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive. If we see someone who looks lost, or if we see someone that's walking up to, we need to take that initiative and put ourselves out there and not put the impetus on our guests. And then
I do want to give some props to our team, because when we came back the next Sunday, I was able to observe our teams, and so many of our guest services team knock it out of the park.
Yes.
I mean, they're standing right there at the front doors. The doors are open. They're smiling. They're saying good morning. Just that small thing is, I think, after the experience I had, was huge. I mean, our auditorium door people standing at the door, handing out the program, saying good morning. It just seems like such a flippant thing. Like, is that really that big a deal that I smile and say good morning? But after my experience, I was like, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's really, really big for people.
Absolutely. So guest services, man, thank you guys for knocking it out of the park every week. What you do makes a huge difference. So thank you guys from both of us for everything that you do. Keep up the great work, and we will see you guys on Sunday. Thanks.